Today we're looking at the Klondike and Alaskan Gold Rush. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The Klondike and Alaskan Gold Rush was an exciting time in which people from all over the world came to Western Canada and Alaska in search of wealth and fortune. It would mark one of the last and greatest gold rushes in North American history and would forever change the landscape of the upper reaches of Canada and the United States. In August of 1896, gold was found in Bonanza Creek, a tributary of the Yukon River in northwestern Canada, close to the border with Alaska. News of the discovery spread quickly, and within weeks, hundreds and then thousands of people were heading north to make claims along the river and try their luck at finding gold. An economic depression during the mid-1890s had many searching for ways to support themselves, and the prospect of finding gold and getting rich quick was too hard to resist. The discovery of gold near the Yukon River would set off two gold rushes, one in 1897 known as the Yukon or Klondike Gold Rush, and then a second Alaskan Gold Rush in 1899 when gold was discovered near Nome, Alaska. People from all walks of life, including miners, businessmen, and even families, packed up their belongings and set off on a long journey to the northern reaches of North America. It's estimated that approximately 100,000 people would begin the journey in search of gold, but very few made it to the gold fields as the journey was extremely difficult and the areas were so remote. In order to reach the Yukon Territory, many miners would board ships in the Pacific Northwest of the United States and travel north to Skagway, Alaska. Once there, they would take the White Pass Trail further north to the treacherous Chilkoot Trail, in which miners had to climb boulders and scale steep, icy slopes, all the while carrying hundreds of pounds of mining equipment, food, and provisions. Many began calling the trail the Dead Horse Trail as so many pack animals died trying to navigate the dangerous path. The journey also included climbing what became known as the Golden Staircase, a 1,500-step climb up an almost vertical snow-covered slope. Many turned back, not realizing how daunting and dangerous the journey north was. However, those who made it up the Chilkoot Trail still had to build boats or acquire rafts to float down the Yukon River, braving sharp turns and rapids. After all of their struggle, they would reach Dawson City in the Yukon Territory of Canada, where they could then start panning and mining for gold. However, just as in other gold rushes, very few ever struck it rich. It's estimated that of the 30,000 that made it to Dawson City, only about 4,000 ever found gold. Instead, those who did become wealthy began selling claims along the river and tributaries or established stores, restaurants, and saloons that became very profitable with the seemingly never-ending stream of miners coming to Dawson City and the surrounding region. Many miners, however, simply arrived and then immediately turned around to head home. For those that stayed, life in the gold camps were tough. People lived in makeshift tents and struggled to find enough food to eat. Disease was common and many people fell ill and died. But despite the hardships, people continued to search for gold, driven by the hope of striking it rich. The Klondike Gold Rush gradually slowed in late 1898, once word got out that there was little to no gold left there. But in September of 1898, gold was found along Anvil Creek near Nome, Alaska, and many of the Klondike prospectors headed to western Alaska following the Yukon River to Nome. Gold near Nome was not only discovered in the creeks and waterways, but also along the beaches of the Norton Sound. The gold rush near Nome lasted about 10 years, from 1899 till about 1909. The Alaskan Gold Rush had a lasting impact on the history of the United States. It helped to populate the territory of Alaska and spurred the development of towns and cities in the region. It also brought people from all over the world together and contributed to the cultural diversity of the United States. Today, the legacy of the Klondike and Alaskan gold rushes live on. Visitors to northern Canada and Alaska can still see the remnants of the gold camps and learn about the people who risked everything in search of gold. Although the days of panning for gold along the rivers are long gone, the spirit of adventure and discovery that drove people to the northern lands still lives on in the hearts of those who visit the beautiful and rugged land. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.